Are the
Yeah.
Niners a playoff team from your perspective? Right now, as we sit here before the draft, we got about 3 weeks till draft day. Are the 49ers currently a playoff team?
I'm not so sure, Larry. I mean, last year they squeaked in. They had to have that overtime win in Cincinnati. They had to have the overtime win against the Rams. I mean, really, they came down to the wire. And last year, the schedule was easier. They played the AFC South last year. This year, they played the AFC West. They could legitimately lose all 4 of those games. Like, I don't think Niner fans understand how hard this schedule is. Colin Cowherd came out with his top 10 teams. Whatever, it's Colin Cowherd, but Buffalo, the Rams, Tampa, Denver, Kansas City, Cincinnati, the Chargers, the Raiders, Baltimore, and the Niners. So you could dispute that, but the Niners play 6 of those teams, and one of them twice. So 7 of their games are 2 against the Rams, 1 against Tampa, 1 against Denver, 1 against Kansas City, 1 against the Chargers, 1 against the Raiders. They could lose. They'll probably be underdogs in all 7 of those games. Let's say they win 2 of them. They would have to win 8 of their remaining 10 games to be 10-7. So I think they could definitely be 10-7 this year, but it's going to be probably harder this year to be 10-7 than it was last year. And it took everything they had just to be 10-7 last year. To me, it looks like a 9-8 team, and maybe 9-8 gets you into the playoffs. But I mean, look at the Saints. The Saints missed it last year because they were down to Trevor Siemian and Ian Book. Now they're going to have Jameis, Taysom Hill, who both win for them, and probably a rookie quarterback too. So they're going to be good. I mean, I think the Cardinals are still good. And if the Niners have to play them early in the year when Kyler Murray's still healthy, they could lose like they did last year. I don't know, man. I think they're definitely in danger of missing the playoffs. And they really need to nail it in the draft. Let's put it that way.
No, I agree with you. It's a weird schedule this year because I agree it's a difficult schedule, but it's very travel friendly.
Yes.
Like if you check, I don't think they got a snow game. I don't think they go west of the east of the Mississippi, like after like week 3 or something like that. I mean, it's like real. They don't have the cumbersome, ugly travel that teams way out on the West Coast typically have, right? Because you said they're matching up in the AFC West, so they have a very favorable travel schedule, but some really tough football teams. But I think they're absolutely in danger of not making the playoffs. Why? Because look at their football team. You just lost DJ Jones. He's the anchor of your defense. You're depending on a guy with chronic knee problems to man that run game. If Javon Kinlaw misses a half dozen games, would that shock anybody? No. And if a guy like that misses a half dozen games, you don't have DJ Jones anymore. You could be susceptible to runs in the A gaps, and that just you want to break a defense down at its core. Just start running through the A gaps, and then suddenly everything's wide open. So Kinlaw, you're leaning on Kinlaw. What is he going to be? We don't know. You're leaning on an offensive line that's Trent Williams and 4 question marks.
Yes.
And Aaron Banks is your plug and play at left guard. He couldn't even get active last year.
Right.
Your center's on the verge of retirement. Your right guard's a street free agent. Your right tackle's coming off of a major career altering type injury. Your offensive line may be crap. Yeah. So you get a first year starter at quarterback. Yeah. You just lost your ace running back. Debo's coming off of a career year. Who knows how he'll bounce back? He's had a lot of soft tissue injuries. You got an offensive line with question marks.
Are you going to keep playing him at running back too? Now that you're paying him $27 million a year. Sorry, keep going.
Right. There's just a lot. I mean, so they're acting like they've got this elite, awesome dynasty type team, and that they just needed to shore up special teams, and now all is right with the world. But if you look closely, they're not as good on the line of scrimmage. Nope. And you've got a first-year starter at quarterback behind a line that has a great left tackle and 4 question marks. So,
and the schedule's way tougher.
The schedule's way tougher. The division is brutal. The team that you should beat on paper owns you in Seattle. So, no, I think the 49ers are definitely in danger of missing the playoffs, and I wouldn't even be shocked if it happened.
So again, let's say they go 2-7 against, let's say they beat the Rams once, they beat the Raiders once, they lose to Tampa, Denver, Kansas City, and the Chargers. They would have to go 8-2 in the following stretch. They have 2 games against Arizona, 2 games against Seattle. They lost. They went 0-4 against Arizona and Seattle last year. Lost to Colt McCoy. They got Miami at home. They got New Orleans at home. I mean,
Miami's good.
Miami's good. New Orleans is good. Yeah. Washington, not a terrible team. I mean, it's tough. So this is a team that actually could go 6-11, 7-10. I'm not predicting that. I'd like to see what their Thursday night games are and if they have any back-to-back road games, that kind of stuff. But man, seems like a bad year to downgrade in the offensive line and on the lines in general. I'm just saying.
Well, and DJ Jones, you can't be this underrated, quiet, key cog and then lose the guy and then suddenly it doesn't matter. Here Hassan Ridgeway rolls in and suddenly you're back to the normal. No, Ridgeway is more of a pass rusher in a rotation. DJ Jones was an anchor who closed off the A gaps and wouldn't allow opposing teams to run up the middle. You saw in the Super Bowl against Kansas City when you didn't have them, how different that defense looked just from how it had looked previously.
That's a great point.
A lot of pressure on Banks, a lot of pressure on Trey, a lot of pressure on McGlinchey, a lot of pressure on Kinlaw. And I don't know that, that's a lot of pressure on some really just okay players. I would say they're going to need a whale of a draft.
Odom or Talanoa Hufanga or whoever they draft to play strong safety full time.
So, not to mention, I mean, if you lose Jimmy Ward at any point, and Jimmy Ward's had a lot of injuries, what is your secondary looking like?
Yeah, not good. So look, I don't mean to go sky's falling. The schedule isn't even out yet. We'll find out in a couple of weeks where the I'll make my prediction. We'll make our prediction of their exact record then. But I want to say they need to nail this draft.
It's not just a beside the point kind of a draft. It's a crucial, integral, vital, draft for them to not just get starters, but to get quality backups.
Yeah, I mean, usually in free agency, you fill your holes so you can take best player available in the draft. Niners didn't do that. The Niners created holes in free agency, focused on special teams, and now they have to fill holes in the draft. Not easy to do.
No.
I mean, let's start at 61. I think the Niners have to get a starter here, and they could choose 4 or 5 different positions.